We'll follow you forever. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong ceremony. Where do I need to be here? Oh, there it is, okay. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to celebrate. It's Kyle Kronenberg and Erika take the next step in the journey of their lives together. Their story begins 8 years ago at Central Crossing High School. Erika was an incoming freshman when Kyle was a senior, and the two of them were both part of the marching band. On their first bus ride together, Erika saw Kyle lounging in the back of the bus, definitely too cool for school, with his emo kid haircut. And she thought to herself, that boy is cute. And she wanted to get closer to him. But then they got to band camp, and Kyle yelled at her for not picking her feet up, and she thought, that boy is mean. And so they spent the rest of the year not talking to each other. And by the end of it, Kyle, of course, graduated. And thoughts of one another faded from their minds from that point on. But 5 years later, fate had a slightly different plan for the two of them. That's fate calling now. Just checking in to make sure everything's all right. You see, there was this newfangled dating app called Tinder. And since neither of them was having much luck with relationships, they both made a profile and gave it a try. And when Kyle's profile flashed across Erika's screen, she swiped right, just to see if he remembered her. And it turned out that he didn't remember her at all. Kyle just swiped right because he thought she was hot. But the two of them set up a date to go hang out at the mall and watch the movie Interstellar together. They were both a little nervous, but since so much time had passed, they both kind of had a chance to make a second first impression. And to that end, Erika was a little sad that Kyle no longer had his emo hair. But she was still impressed that he managed to be cute. And on that first date, Kyle was trying really hard to be funny, and it didn't work. But Erika admits that just added to his charm a little bit. But part of Kyle's problem was that Erika was simply gorgeous, and he was just assured that he was in over his head. But they ended up having so much fun talking at the mall and watching the movie that neither of them wanted that date to end. So the two of them went back to Kyle's place, and they watched Bad Grandpa twice. And then they hung out well into the night. The date was amazing, and that was the beginning of Kyle and Erika's bonding over a love of bad movies. The Room, Birdemic, all three Sharknadoes. There are 5 minutes. But nothing was so horrible that they wouldn't watch it together, and in the coming weeks they sat through all of it. Erika and Kyle also totally geeked out over video games. I mean, nothing says, I'm totally into you, like you breaking out an old link cable to battle each other in Pokemon Yellow on an old school Game Boy. But once they saw just how much they had in common, these two found themselves spending a lot of time together. Then came the moment where Erika realized that she was falling in love with Kyle. One day, the two of them found themselves in need of some groceries. It was wintertime, and the driveway had iced over the night before. And Kyle, ever on the lookout for an opportunity to impress Erika, decided that he would glide down the driveway while striking a heroic pose. However, after about 3 feet, he lost his footing, and he fell to the ground and broke his face. It was not the most graceful moment in his life. But as he lay there with his pride sitting somewhere on the ground nearby, and realizing suddenly that he was missing a few teeth, Erika looked at him, and only one thought crossed her mind. Man, he is still cute even when he's bleeding. Now, they never made it out to get groceries that day, But they did, in the end, have a better sense of the power of their relationship. Now, as time passed, Erika and Kyle found themselves sitting in the same car as they rode the roller coaster ride that is life. They finished nursing school together, worked through anxiety and depression with one another's support, and just loved each other's face. They dealt with strange working hours and the pain of distance when Erika worked out at Buckeye Lake for a year. But all that while, Kyle and Erika still had each other. But when she returned, life took a new turn for them when they had a chance to move in together. And then Kyle decided to propose because Erika was kind enough to tell him it was time. Now, the two of them had been joking about marriage on some level since their second date. But after a couple of years, Erika definitely wanted that ring. Now, Kyle decided to wait for Christmas to pop that question. But when the morning came around, he was a nervous wreck. It didn't make anything better that the world decided not to be helpful that day either. For example, Kyle wanted to propose outside, but it had rained the night before and made everything muddy, so he had to move it in. Then, when he went to ask, Erika was petting their bunny and just wouldn't look at him. It made him more and more flustered. And after all that distraction, he forgot to get down on one knee the way he had planned. And when she said yes and did her little giddy dance, Kyle found out that he had guessed her ring size incorrectly. But just like with that icy driveway incident, things didn't go quite as planned, yet everything still worked out for them in the end. But that pretty much brings us here to today, the culmination of all that Erika and Kyle are and all that they have become. Because now they share a relationship based on lots of great communication, plenty of thoughtful compromise, and extraordinary comfort. Now, along the way, these two have learned to understand both their own emotions and each other's emotions, and in that way, they've learned to truly care for one another. They're both introverts, as I'm sure you know, but they're always happy in each other's company. In fact, the activity they love the most is just sitting together at home. But over the years, Kyle has grown to love Erika for her confidence, the way she puts others first, for her love of the little details in life, and for the funny little smiley dance she does when she gets all excited. And likewise, Erika has grown to love Kyle for how nice he is, how smart he is, how occasionally funny he is, and for always putting up with her really terrible jokes. But above all else, everyone here knows that these two just make each other happy. So let's celebrate that happiness and the relationship that generates it as we see these two off on the next chapter of their lives together. Now we're going to begin this afternoon with the vows, which Erika and Kyle have chosen to write themselves. And either because Kyle is the kind of time-honored gentleman who would want his bride to go first for everything on their wedding day, or because he's still working on his, we're going to begin with Erika.
I don't have pockets. Okay. I read somewhere once that a good amount of people marry someone they knew in high school. I remember thinking to myself, yeah, right, that will never happen. So the world had to make me look really stupid. And let me tell you, it was totally worth it. I made a lot of stupid mistakes in my lifetime. I used to have a lot of regrets, but since I met you, I don't have a single one. Because every mistake, every bad choice, every night lying awake wishing things had gotten differently led me to you. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. I don't know what I did in a past life to deserve to get you in this one, but I'm thankful every day for it. I vow to love you the best I possibly can every day for the rest of my life, good times and bad. I vow to be thankful for you and everything you do. I vow to laugh at all your dumb jokes no matter how bad they are. And I promise to always think you're the cutest man to ever exist, even when you lose all your beautiful hair.
You just go ahead and follow that up.
Alrighty here.
Gotta put some pizzazz in it. I'll make it short for you. Erika, over the last few months, I've heard many different reactions to the news of our engagement. Heard many congratulations, but I've also heard many divorce stories trying to scare us away from this family. But my favorite reaction is when people ask me if I'm nervous or if I have cold feet. And honestly, I've never felt worried about getting married to you. My love for you has been built on a foundation of little moments. You are always there for me. Stop it. You're always there for me to vent to after a long day of work. You pity laugh at my awful jokes. And you give me the space to be my own person and feel comfortable being the real me. It took me a long time to say the L word, but when I finally did, I felt like a weight had been lifted from me. Oh, I got you. Oh wait, nope. Where am I at? Okay, so love doesn't scare me anymore. It was just another small step towards today. So today, in front of all of our friends and family, I vow to return these little moments back to you. I vow to lock the door behind me at night. I vow to always be there to hold your hand during a thunderstorm. I vow to always trust you the same way you've had trust in me since our first date. And I vow to find any little way I can to put a smile on your face. Love you.
Alrighty. Then we continue this afternoon with the rings. Symbols of their love and devotion to one another, and a permanent reminder for everyone else to just back off. May we have the rings, please? We hope.
You had one job.
So tell us, Erika, do you promise Kyle to be his wife from this day forward? To be faithful and honest in every way, and to honor the trust he places in you? To love and respect him when he does not change the toilet paper? To care for him in sickness and in health? And to lovingly deal with the way he picks his nails and makes your skin crawl? But to ultimately be his companion, and most importantly, his friend on this journey you've chosen to make together?
You first.
Was it me? Okay.
And do you, Kyle, promise Erika to be her husband from this day forward? To be faithful and honest in every way, and to honor the trust she places in you? To love and respect her, even when she has her ADHD moments at the grocery store, and you have to hunt through aisle after aisle to find her? To care for her in sickness and in health? To lovingly deal with the way she sasses you all of the time? But to ultimately be her friend and her companion on this journey you've chosen to make together?
I do.
Then we end this evening with a unity ceremony. This is the point in a wedding where the bride and groom do something to symbolically join their formerly separate lives into one. If you've ever been to a wedding, chances are good you've seen people light candles or perhaps blend sand. And while those certainly do the job, none of that felt quite right for these two. They would much rather be symbolically locked into a box together. So what they're about to do is create a unity box. Inside of the small chest behind me, they have placed some mementos from their favorite memories of their relationship together, as well as they're about to put copies of the vows they just shared. And then on some anniversary in the distant future, they can open up that box and remember just how strange and wonderful they've always been. You may begin. Quick and easy.
Yep.
So I think with that, it's now the time where I get to say that by the power vested in me by the state of Ohio, I officially pronounce you husband and wife. You may totally make out in front of your family.